Effectively managing cash flow is top of mind for many businesses today. NetSuite makes it easy to plug in to your bank with the new Bank Feed Suite app included in the new NetSuite 2020.1 update. Here's what we're going to be reviewing today. First, we'll introduce our team on the phone and give you an introduction to a little bit about Eide Bailly overall. Then we'll be introducing you to Bank Feed Suite app and its application features. Along the way, you'll see a brief demonstration, and we'll make sure that we can answer any questions at the end. Let's get started. As I said, my name is Dino Farfante. I'm Business Development Director at Eide Bailly for the technology practice. I've been working with NetSuite for over 12 years as both a business owner that implemented NetSuite many years ago and as a director over consulting practices. I have industry experience with both Fortune 500 and mid-market companies, including ERP experience in NetSuite and other ERP systems. On the phone with me is Ethan Haberman, who will be walking us through the functionality today. Ethan is an experienced IT manager, NetSuite implementer, and solutions engineer. He's certified in several NetSuite applications and has over 6 years of experience, including NetSuite, SAP, and Microsoft. At Eide Bailly, we like to think of ourselves as advisors first and technology providers second. We only succeed when you succeed, our clients. And that's why our driving force every day is to help you find the best way forward. We bring our knowledge, our passion, our experience to transform the way you do business and deliver lasting results. Eide Bailly has been around for over 100 years. We're a top 20 accounting firm throughout the United States, but Eide Bailly is more than just an accounting firm. We're an award-winning consulting business, advisory and professional services firm. We're driven to help clients take the now and the next with inspired ideas and results. Our team have experience that span multiple industries using proven service approach that focuses on business processes and user adoption. Our practices also specialize in complementary technologies like Salesforce CRM, data analytics and business intelligence, integration, and advisory services. Our service offerings are always focused on helping with today's unique challenges, like those presented for today's remote work environment that are covered in the overview that we'll go over. Others of importance our firm helps with include R&D tax credits, state and local tax compliance, and helping in today's environment with new government regulations and compliance. Our NetSuite team provides services to clients across the United States. We're successfully implemented in over 500 companies and boast an award-winning team. We have 55 consultants holding over 100 certifications and over 10 years of experience. Our team has earned the America Solution Provider Award 4 of the last 5 years. And this is an award that's really based on customer experience and customer success, as well as being a growing NetSuite practice. If you have questions on who Eide Bailly is, or if you're interested in talking about other topics or offerings, we'll have a slide at the end of the presentation to introduce our customer service managers and make sure that you have their contact information. So NetSuite has been delivering updates for over 20 years in the NetSuite platform. This year, they've added Bank Feeds Suite app to those updates. Bank Feeds will elevate your business by helping you effectively manage your cash flow. With pre-built configurations to your financial institutions, Bank Feeds will plug you into your bank and automate the reconciliations and daily cash balances. The NetSuite Bank Feed Suite app is included in NetSuite's 2020.1 update. Companies can take advantage of the Bank Feeds Suite app and improve cash management by linking to your bank and credit card accounts. Bank Feeds will automatically import transactions and account balances from financial institutions directly into your NetSuite account. You can get accurate daily cash balance, auto bank account reconciliations on a daily basis, and predefined integrations are available on over 9,000 banks, credit card, and financial institutions. Here are some important features of Bank Feeds and bank connectivity within NetSuite. Number one, live connection with your financial institutions, daily account updates from your bank, and lastly, automated bank activity, matching and reconciliation. Here are the demonstration topics Ethan will be presenting. If you have any questions on these features in the presentation today, again, we'll have customer service manager contact information at the end of the presentation. Ethan, let's turn it over to you.
Thanks for the introduction, Dino. Today, we're going to go through an overview of the Bank Feeds Suite app within NetSuite. show you how to set up financial institutions within your NetSuite environment and how those are linked to your NetSuite accounts. Then go through the matching rules and transaction matching process, and then talk briefly about how you might connect to alternative or alternate financial institutions using SFTP connectivity as well. So here, as you can see, I'm on my NetSuite homepage, and as Dino pointed out in the intro, the Bank Feed Suite app provides the ability to automate the upload of the bank and credit card data directly from your financial institution accounts into NetSuite. It utilizes the latest financial institution connectivity plugins and uses a third-party data aggregation service to access online financial institution website. So this allows you to really retrieve cleared and processed bank and credit card transactions daily from your financial institutions and automate the import of those bank and credit card data and account balances daily for reconciling with your NetSuite transactions. Currently, this is only available for financial institutions in US and Canada. However, there are other methods NetSuite has developed using SFTP to import data from financial institutions outside of the US. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the presentation. As Dino mentioned, currently NetSuite supports about 9,000 financial institutions and always has a current list of these financial institutions available from Suite Answers. Setting up your bank feeds includes a one-time procedure to let you connect your NetSuite account to your financial institution. After a successful connection is established, all bank accounts associated to your financial institution are automatically linked to your NetSuite account, allowing you to link the accounts from these financial institutions to accounts set up in your NetSuite environment, all through a simple mapping exercise. Just as you would with other Suite apps, the Bank Feed Suite app is installed via the Suite App Marketplace. If this screen actually looks new to you, the Suite App Marketplace is actually a new feature that was rolled out in the 2020 release. As I've already set up this Suite app, I can actually navigate to my installed Suite app list here and see that the Bank Feed Suite app has already been installed in my NetSuite environment. In recent versions of NetSuite, we've introduced the concept of financial institutions into the product. Before this change, you could import standard bank file formats to your bank accounts and perform some basic account reconciliation. What this new financial institution functionality has brought to the table is it creates more of a framework around your bank accounts and banking relationships, which is going to allow you to bring those statements in and potentially different sorts of file formats that these statements are going to be in. So if I go to Setup, Accounting, and down to my financial institution areas here, I'm able to see a list of my current financial institutions that have been brought into my system. Here we can see the financial institution that was actually automatically created by the Bank Feed Suite app. Additionally, you can see a financial institution for HSBC, which is set up using SFTP functionality I mentioned earlier. This will be set up for any accounts that are either outside of the US or Canada or not currently supported by NetSuite. If I go ahead and get into edit mode here of my Bank Feeds financial institution, we're going to get some basic information about the Bank Feeds Suite app, as well as more importantly, the ability to link our accounts, our bank accounts into NetSuite. If I go ahead and click on link bank accounts here, I'm going to see some information about the different format profiles and other sort of connectivity information that's going to be available here in NetSuite. If I click on the Account Mapping tab, here is the tab we will be able to navigate to any of the existing financial institutions that have been linked within NetSuite, as well as see the account types and the bank account within NetSuite that each of our linked accounts is mapped to. As you can see here in our demonstration environment, we have 3 of them that have been mapped to actual NetSuite accounts. If I click on the Connectivity Configuration tab here, we'll be able to link to new financial institutions after we navigate into edit mode. Once we navigate back to our Connectivity Configuration tab, we're going to be able to see that we have the ability to search for our financial institution, perform authentication on those financial institutions, and then review which accounts we'd like to bring in. As noted before, NetSuite provides secure connectivity to almost 9,000 of these financial institutions. For instance, if I were to start typing in Utah here, It will filter down to a list of those banks, allowing me to enter my credentials on the next screen. Finally, when I successfully connect to my financial institution, I'll be able to review the accounts which I'd like NetSuite to use, as we showed on the Account Mapping tab. I'm going to go ahead now and navigate back to my home page. Once we've actually linked and mapped all of our bank accounts, transactions will begin to flow into NetSuite with nightly downloads happening automatically. We also have the ability to manually download new transactions from our financial institutions at any time. As we can see here in the bank reconciliation portlet at the top of my dashboard, we have several accounts that have recent statements that have been downloaded and have items that are ready to match. We also have the ability to look at a history of all the statements that have been downloaded from our financial institutions. If I navigate to Transactions, Bank, Upload File, and List, we can see a listing of all of our recent statement downloads. We are able to see the status of those, which NetSuite accounts those are linked to, as well as see how many transactions have been imported, auto-matched, or contain potential duplicates. If I click on the statement for 414, I'm able to, I can see here all of the transactions that have been imported with details about all of those transactions and the accounts they are going to. Before we take a look at matching our transactions from a recent statement download, I want to spend a minute talking about automated transaction matching and how those rules are going to be set up within NetSuite. If I go to Transactions, Bank, and Matching Rules, we're going to be able to see here that NetSuite has a few different matching rules that are configured by default. Basic things like matching on transaction number and amount, transaction number and amount without prefixes or leading zeros, as sometimes banks will add those to our transaction numbers, and to match when the amount, when the date is in the last 90 days. While those three rules will often help match a good portion of transactions, oftentimes there are other sorts of rules that need to be configured to help facilitate automatic transactions or automated transaction matching from our downloaded statement. NetSuite gives us the ability to create custom matching rules which will help us define this process. We can define these either globally or by account, then add rule conditions that will help us through the matching process for any special formatting or field mapping that needs to happen that is specific to our financial institutions and or our NetSuite environment. I've clicked on New Rule here, and it's going to allow us to determine which account or accounts firstly that we want to have these rules match to. If I click on the Rule Conditions tab here, this is where I can add the different transaction types and other sorts of fields that we're going to map as a part of this process. If I click here, I can determine that I want to add in imported checks, and I want to match the memo field, saying that is going to be equal to the NetSuite checks memo field as well. We can add an unlimited amount of different rule conditions to ensure that we are getting as many automatic transaction matches as possible when we're doing our statement uploads. Let's go ahead and go back to our home screen and look back at our bank reconciliation portlet. A lot of you are probably already familiar with this portlet. It outlines our current account balance, last reconciled balance, when we performed our last reconciliation, our current bank balance with an as of date, and how many items need to be matched based on a recent statement download. Let's go ahead and take a look at the items that need to be matched for our US1 checking account. We can see here that it's going to show our account information here at the top, with our account number, the subsidiary this account is linked to, current bank balance with an as of date, and then also the ability to import existing data that may not already be imported into NetSuite. Again, this imports do happen every night automatically. Down below, we'll see transactions that are yet to be matched, matches that need to be submitted, and any transactions that need to be excluded for whatever reason. This can be transactions that were done as a part of an initial import that may be previously already reconciled within your NetSuite environment. As we can see, our statement transactions are showing here on the left, and our NetSuite transactions are showing here on the right. In my demonstration environment, we have a lot of transactions that didn't match automatically, and for those transactions, we can filter by type, search available fields within those transactions. We can also restrict our date range for transactions of what we want currently displayed. Additionally, we can change any of the sorting to any of those fields that will help us manually match any of those outliers. We're able to do this on the NetSuite transaction side as well. Now, if we'd like to match a transaction that has not been auto-matched, we can simply select the statement transaction on the left and the NetSuite transaction on the right and match them. If I search for Uber in both my statement transactions and my NetSuite transactions, it will filter those down to those transactions that have not been reconciled yet, just for Uber. If I click here on the left for this payment and on the right for a bill payment, I can see here at the bottom now that I'm able to match these transactions. On the next screen, we'll be able to see any sort of transactions that have already been submitted and view the details of those transactions. So these are 4 transactions that we had previously matched. Once we've matched all of our transactions, we'll actually be able to use the Reconcile Account Statement screen to finish our reconciliation, ensuring that our statement balance and account balances are matched and accurate. We actually aren't seeing any of those here because I've not yet submitted those matches on the screen I was previously on. One last area I would like to touch on today is the function of the alternate bank connectivity. In the 2019.2 update, NetSuite introduced the Bank Connectivity Suite app. This will allow you to perform similar sort of processes that we've outlined today, but with the financial institutions that are either outside of the US and Canada or aren't currently supported by NetSuite. For those of you who aren't familiar with SFTP, SFTP is a secure, encrypted, and standardized form of file transfer that is not only used by banks, but across multiple industries by a means of transmitting files back and forth securely. If I click on Transactions and Bank and Upload File, we're going to go to a screen that's going to allow us to upload bank statements that are going to be outside the scope of the bank feeds functionality. If I click on the Connectivity tab, here we're able to query those financial institutions that provide SFTP connectivity to download our account statements. If I actually look at the configuration for this, by going to my shortcuts in SFTP bank connectivity, you're going to see that this takes a little bit more setup than the standard bank feeds connectivity. These values are mostly provided by your financial institution, and our team can assist you in configuring this functionality to ensure that you're able to connect to your bank successfully. That concludes today's demonstration on bank feeds. So today, while it is a brief demonstration showing you on the Bank Feed Suite app, we showed you where you would install the Bank Feed Suite app from the Suite app marketplace, showed you how to set up your financial institutions within your NetSuite environment and how those are linked to your NetSuite accounts, went through the matching rules and transaction matching process, and talked briefly on how you might connect to alternate financial institutions. Hopefully today's demonstration gave you a brief understanding of all of the great features NetSuite has released to help you manage these financial institutions and increase efficiencies in your bank reconciliation process. Dino, I'll go ahead and turn it back to you.
Thank you, Ethan. I appreciate the demonstration on bank feeds and the overview. We'll now take questions and open up for questions. I'm going to introduce Amy Kness, which leads our solution engineering team, to open up the Q&A. Amy?
Yes, thank you, Dino. We do have one open question for Ethan, and it reads, we do a monthly reconciliation for each account and create a reconciliation report for the month. Would we still be able to and or need to do that, or will the automatic daily reconciliations take the place of that?
Yeah, so depending on your business process, you would not be required to perform daily reconciliations. However, if you are currently only doing a monthly reconciliation for each of your accounts, this would potentially replace that business process of allowing you to do automatic daily reconciliation in place of a month-end reconciliation.
Wonderful, thank you, Ethan. We have one other question, and it says, can we add new transactions imported from the bank into NetSuite?
Yeah, so on the one of the match transactions page that I had showed you earlier, we do have the ability to add additional NetSuite transactions if those transactions don't already exist. And that can be done via a journal entry, a new charge, or a new deposit.
Wonderful. And finally, we have questions coming in as we go here. So does bank feeds also work with credit cards?
It does. So this bank feeds does have the ability to work for both checkings and savings accounts, as well as credit cards as well. So one of the accounts that I did have linked in the demonstration environment was a credit card account, and those charges were actually brought in from a Chase credit card. And so similarly to bringing in standard bank transactions, you can bring in credit card transactions as well.
Thank you. And I think that concludes our question and answer session.
Thank you, Amy, and thank you, Ethan, again for the great presentation. Now, what's next? From an overall journey of your NetSuite environment, at iBailey, we try and look at the holistic relationship we have to help you succeed. And in that journey, we have a number of support options that go to the lifetime of your usage of NetSuite in the life cycle, from everything from on-demand support to managed service offerings such as administrator offerings and other managed service plans. Please contact your client success manager, again, with any questions on the programs that we have, and they'll be able to help you going forward.